Hi, aloha.
Thank you for letting me come in today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If we gather in a space, we'll usually gather and introduce ourselves. But traditionally in a Hawaiian greeting, you not only introduce yourself by name, but you introduce the place that raised you. Aloha, I'm Maile. My ohana is from both Hawaii Island, specifically KA on the South Kona shores, and also La'ia, which is just a little hop, skip, and a jump away. Another reason why we're in Kahana, my grandmother uniki'd as a kumuhula here in Kahana. So she was a hula student here in Kahana. We have to acknowledge that the space plays a huge role on who we are as people. The Hawaiians had such an intimate connection to their environment. And when we look at hula in particular, hula comes from the forest. Hula comes from the mimicry of the environment, whether you're mimicking, the tides in the ocean, or you're mimicking how the trees flutter. The word olapa comes from, it's a type of tree, but that's also the name for one of our dancers, a status of dancer. So the olapa is to make that motion. So that's pikake. Pikake is usually worn by brides, and if you smell it when we're walking by. So it's super fragrant. It's very delicate, but a really prized lei. Usually don't wear pikake unless it's a huge event. It's similar to maile.
So where did you learn all of the plant knowledge?
That comes from our hula tradition. So we have a kuahu, which is a altar, and what we place on the kuahu, the leis have to come from the forest, and so there are certain things that we call kuahu plants. But so you have to have knowledge of your forest in order to create those lei that can go onto your kuahu. When a hula practitioner walks through a forest, you don't see just the forest, you see choreography. So you see how the, maybe a tree is leaning this way. And so you're gonna incorporate that. And it doesn't have to be just the individual dancer that creates the image. You can think collectively, we have this one motion that's just like this, we have both hands coming like this. And yes, you look like a tree like this, but with a group of 40 people, you're the forest.
Yeah.
So kumuhula have an interesting task in creating images that can be received by an audience. This is hau. So this is one of our indigenous species. If you strip the outer bark, a lot of people will think that hula dancers wear raffia skirts, but it's actually hau. So this is Kahana Bay.
Oh, wow.
We're on the west side of the western mouth of Kahana Bay. Hula cannot be done without the mele. It's not like Tahitian that can be done with just beats. The hula is the mele. We don't exist separately from the mele. So after you go and you become this chanter in your training, maybe a door will open up for you where you can enter the uniki process, which you would graduate eventually into being a kumuhula. Mohala mai ka'iho'i ku'uvahila une i kuka. Hawaiians still have a culture. Hawaiians still have a language. Hawaiians exist without tourism. So anyone that comes to Hawaii or any place in the world, when you go and you visit, there's a people from that place.
Yeah.
There's a people that malama and care for that place and love that place. I always say to just find that thing that wakes up your kupuna, because we have these multitudes and multitudes and multitudes of our ancestors that are just waiting to dance. Mine just like dancing.
You really do this in your dancing and your teaching.
So just like how my grandmother uniki'd as kumuhula right there, I'm dancing with my halau in the same space as my grandmother. So despite me never physically meeting my grandmother, I'm still able to connect via hula. And you know, now that you have been to this place, you know kahana, you know some of the stories of kahana, you know some of the plants of this place, of Hawaii, and now you can take it and share and let people know that we're still here. Aloha.